Hi everyone, this is Darth Bribeboy here, and I have a little bit of an update video for you all. One, you should hear that the audio quality is way better than the last couple of DSLR videos. That's because I rebought a shotgun mic that I used to have, but I lost while I was filming something, unfortunately, but I rebought it through Amazon, and hopefully the audio sounds better. Sorry if there's a little bit of a hiss, but I like the quality of this mic, even with that little bit of hiss in mind, so shit happens, c'est la vie. Okay, this video is just something I fucking thought of doing. It's about 4K at this point. So, if you remember in the last 4K video I did, I told you that I would upgrade to 4K. Well, I got this player back in October of last year. And ever since I upgraded to 4K, haven't looked back. In fact, I've upgraded some DVD releases that I had because the price was pretty damn good on 4K. So, y'all remember Logan? Finally watched this bad boy in 4K. It looks stunning. We have the divisive, but one of my personal favorite Star Wars films, The Last Jedi here. Love this one. Thor Ragnarok. Pretty damn good. We have The Dark Knight, which I saw a little bit of in 4K. We have Batman Begins, which I have not watched yet in 4K, but I will soon. And I think this is all, these at least, are a diverse enough group of titles where I think I can talk to you about my viewing experience on 4K. So, I have to keep it real for a minute. My TV, older version of 4K. This version of 4K, this television I should say, I bought in 2015, right when 4K was starting to become a thing. For those of you wanting context, I used to have a old JVC tube from 2001. That was my main TV, but it was starting to die out. So, after 3 fucking TVs, we got this one, which has worked very well for the past 3 years. It's a great smart TV. The 4K looks pretty damn good. Watching regular Blu-ray on it is pretty damn great. Hell, even watching DVD on it is pretty damn great when displayed through the 4K player. And one thing I've noticed is that you can see the HDR. Now, you can't see it well because this TV doesn't really have an HDR setup, even though it says this is meant for Ultra HD. This is pre-HDR 4K. Nevertheless, it still looks pretty damn stunning, and especially on movies like The Last Jedi. This is a movie, like the Star Wars Blu-rays before, that made me sold on the format. Now, I did start buying 4K movies just to have a decent, diverse collection on standby. I bought several sci-fi films. I bought a horror film. I bought some thrillers. And I bought some classic films on 4K just so I could have them and see how they look on the format. And I've shown the player and how it works when presenting the despecialized editions of the Star Wars trilogy to you guys back in January. Let me just put these fuckers back because my OCD is kicking in. So for those of you wondering, hey, Darth Bribeboy, why should I upgrade to 4K? You should upgrade to 4K if you have a 4K TV. I think even without HDR, it's still one hell of a viewing experience, especially if you have a decent enough speaker setup. You will notice the audio difference pretty well, even though weirdly enough, this audio mix here might be compressed a little bit because my speaker setup is your standard stereo setup, so it's not 7.1, it's not 5.1. When I put some soundproof foam down here, it's going to sound fucking spectacular. Another thing I gotta say is 4K just makes your Blu-rays look even better. As I said, I watched the despecialized editions of Star Wars on this player back in fucking December with some friends of mine, maybe early January. And the movies look stunning. Obviously, Harmy's remastering of the movies look amazing, but the 4K just made it all the more special and amazing. Oh, also got to keep it real. Star Wars looks great on this fucking thing. I was doing a marathon of, I'm still in the middle of a marathon of the original trilogy 2011 cuts, and seeing how shitty the changes are within the context of the film. If you watch that series of videos, you'll see my little journey. A question you all might be wondering: how do DVDs look? I should note that I'm a little nearsighted, and even with my nearsightedness, I can still see the difference between DVD and Blu-ray very clearly. I can see it even more so when the DVD is upscaled to 4K. But fortunately my screen isn't that big, so DVD still looks pretty tolerable, especially if you're a little fucking nearsighted. So let me think of some DVDs I watched on it. Some of the Harry Potter films. Upgrade those to 4K. Let me tell you my philosophy on upgrading movies. I only upgrade the discs if they're not working, or if they're unfixable. So I'll bite the bullet and I'll get the Blu-ray with a 4K version of the film. But other than that, I feel no need to upgrade the films to 4K or higher in that case. I don't have any screen capture software or capture card. Actually, that's not true. I have a capture card, but I don't know how the fucker works. So you're gonna have to forgive some guerrilla style videography. So let's see how a DVD looks. Let's go with the Die Hard set. Alright, so this is one of the releases that I'm doing now. I'm about to show you. So let's check it out. Yeah, if you can't tell, that says, oops. Alright. So this is an example of a release that has good mastering and good mixing. Overall, you can tell it's a DVD if you look up really fucking close. But if you're just looking for something to display your DVDs in a really good quality, then upscaling them to 4K is pretty impressive. I think this Die Hard mastering is pretty damn good. Okay, so you can see it's still a DVD master, right? But that doesn't mean the transfer doesn't hold up well enough, even though it's an older format and an older release. It's actually pretty impressive to me how well these masters hold up. And for me at least, I feel no real urge to upgrade a good quality DVD set unless the DVD itself starts to fuck up. I also have some region specific Blu-rays. I have some Blu-rays, I have a lot of Blu-rays from the UK, or a couple of Blu-rays from the UK because of the region-free player. When they make region-free players in 4K, that would be fucking great. But I don't know when that's happened. Perhaps 1080p looks good enough for region lock stuff. I don't really know of any 4K releases that are region locked that you need to go out and buy at the moment. Oh yes, another main reason I'm happy I got this player. On the box it mentions it has a smart hub. And what else is it? It allows for 4K streaming. Now, I don't have the most powerful computers. A Dell laptop from 2011 that I refuse to upgrade that served me pretty well. The battery crapped out on it back in 2015. Got it fucking replaced. And that's the very computer I'm using to edit this video right now. And I have another computer from 2014, bought it in 2015, but ignoring that, that is okay. I think weirdly enough the 2011 laptop is better than the 2014 laptop, but it's neither here nor there. Neither one of those machines can play 4K streaming. The 2014 laptop can view 4K files. The 2011 laptop can't do that. The maximum setting it can handle for video natively is 1080p, I believe. Oh yes. One of the major things I am happy about is that I can now stream videos in 4K with no issue whatsoever. And the ability to stream 4K video has made such a difference in my enjoyment of YouTube videos. I can watch Austin Evans videos in 4K. I can watch Techmoan videos, which do have a lot of beautiful macro shots in them. I can watch any video that's upscaled or streaming in 4K, which just makes all the difference. Especially when you have a 4K display, you can see the extra detail. Again, I have to mention I'm a little nearsighted, but even with my nearsightedness, I can still see gorgeous amounts of detail. Maybe not HDR, and you know what? That's okay. I don't really know if I need HDR at the moment. I'm very happy with this setup right now, and I hope this TV lasts as long as the one I had from 2001. So it was like 2001 to 2015, 13 years, because we got rid of it in 2014. So you might just want to know, how does 4K look? Well, can't really show it to you. I would need a 4K capture card or a way to rip 4K Blu-rays and also edit in 4K. So the question is, will you be seeing any Darth Boy videos in 4K? Probably not. The computer I would use is the school laptop. The laptop from 2014, which is also my school laptop. That fucker has issues. Its fan is making a sound. So I gotta get it fucking fixed. Will I ever upload videos in 4K? It depends. I can technically do it, and I'm thinking about doing this as an experiment. My phone can shoot video in 4K. It has a 16 megapixel camera. The DSLR has an 18 megapixel camera. So what I'm thinking I could do is I could shoot some footage in 1080p on this camera, and then shoot some footage in 4K, mesh them together in the video editor, render that in 4K to see how that would turn out, and just see what happens. I might just upgrade to a new fucking computer at some point, because I think this laptop might be on its last legs, unfortunately. Not, well, the Dell one might be, but I think the Toshiba one I'm using, the Toshiba one is the school laptop. I guess where my point was with this fucking video is upgrade to 4K. If you're on the fence about 4K, I would highly suggest you upgrade to it. 4K is well worth the upgrade, even without HDR. Your DVDs will look pretty damn good. Your Blu-rays will look stunning, and your 4K Ultra HD movie will look amazing on a 4K display. If you have HDR, get it. I think new 4K TVs all have HDR at this point. So you know what? Your best bet is to just pick up a new 4K TV if you can afford it, and just watch all your home video stuff on that fucking thing. Anyway, I think that's it. Live long and prosper and have a nice day.